It was a day like any other when the unthinkable happened. Our story begins on a sunny afternoon. A family filled with laughter and love was enjoying a delightful picnic on the outskirts of an enchanting forest. The forest, with its towering trees and the melodious chirping of birds, painted a picturesque backdrop for their joyous gathering. Among the family was a young boy, full of life and brimming with curiosity. He had a sparkle in his eyes that reflected his adventurous spirit. As the family basked in the warmth of the sun and the cool breeze, the boy was drawn towards the mysteries that the forest held within its depths. His fascination with the unknown was like a magnet, pulling him towards the forest's edge. But the forest was not just a silent spectator. It had its own ways of communicating with those willing to listen and observe. Suddenly, a gust of wind, stronger than any other that day, rustled the leaves, and the forest seemed to come alive. From deep within its heart, a strange glow emerged. It was as if the forest was whispering, beckoning the boy to unravel its secrets. The boy, intrigued by this mysterious event, decided to investigate. His heart pounded with excitement and a hint of fear, but his adventurous spirit was far too strong to resist the call of the unknown. With a sense of determination and a thirst for adventure, the boy ventured deeper and deeper into the forest. With each step, the sounds of his family's laughter faded, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the hushed whispers of the forest. He didn't realize how far he had strayed until he looked back and saw nothing but trees all around him. And just like that, the boy was lost, with nothing but the forest around him. Away from the comfort of his family, the boy found himself in the heart of the forest. The boy's heart pounded like a drum, his nerves tingling with fear and a strange sense of exhilaration. He was alone, but not lonely. His companions were the whispering wind, the rustling leaves, and the faint hum of the forest's heart. The forest at first glance appeared to be a tangle of shadows and unknowns, but soon the boy's fear started to ebb away, replaced by a growing curiosity. The forest was a symphony of life. Squirrels scampered in the underbrush, birds sang their merry tunes, and far off a deer grazed peacefully. The boy watched, his eyes wide with wonder. Each creature, each tree, each leaf was a story waiting to be discovered. As the boy ventured deeper, he found himself face to face with the forest's many marvels. A family of rabbits hopping about, a stream gurgling joyfully over a bed of pebbles, a towering tree with branches spread wide, offering shelter and solace. The forest was no longer a stranger, it was a friend, a guide, a mentor. With every encounter, the boy's courage swelled. He began to see the forest not as a maze of dangers, but as a playground of possibilities. He clambered over logs, ducked beneath low-hanging branches, and splashed through clear, cool streams. He was no longer a lost boy, but an explorer navigating his own grand adventure. From the heart of the forest, the boy learned resilience. He learned to adapt, to persevere, to embrace the unexpected. He found strength in his own spirit, a resolve he never knew he possessed. Each step, each breath, each heartbeat was a testament to his courage. The forest, once a symbol of fear and uncertainty, transformed into a canvas of wonder and discovery. It wasn't a scary wilderness anymore, but a nurturing cradle of life. The boy was no longer lost. He had found a new home in the heart of the wild. With every step, the boy grew braver, embracing the wild and its wonders. But the forest, as beautiful as it was, didn't come without its challenges. Our young hero quickly discovered that the forest was not just a realm of beauty and wonder, it was also a world of trials and tribulations. The first challenge he encountered was a fast-flowing stream gushing with torrential waters. The boy looked at it with wide eyes, but he did not let fear consume him. Instead, he looked around and found a sturdy branch. With a bit of courage and some careful balance, he managed to cross the stream, one careful step at a time, using the branch as a makeshift bridge. Then came the steep hill, a towering obstacle that seemed to touch the sky. It was covered in slick moss and loose rocks, making the climb arduous. But the boy was not discouraged. He looked at the hill, took a deep breath, and began his climb. His hands were soon raw from gripping the rough rocks, and his feet slipped more than once. Yet he learned from each slip and adjusted his technique, showing a level of resilience that was truly admirable. The boy's challenges didn't end there. He had to navigate through dense undergrowth, evade curious creatures, and even find his own food. But with each challenge, he adapted, learned, and grew. He discovered that fallen nuts could be a source of food, and that certain leaves could be used to dress small cuts and scrapes. He learned to listen to the sounds of the forest, to distinguish between the harmless rustle of leaves and the more ominous sounds of larger creatures. The forest, for all its beauty, was a challenging teacher, but the boy was a willing pupil. He learned to respect the forest, to understand its rules, and to overcome its challenges. He stumbled, fell, and got back up, his determination never wavering. Each challenge met, each obstacle overcome, the boy grew stronger, his spirit unbroken. The forest had tested the boy, but now it was time to find his way back home. The boy, once lost and frightened, was now brimming with courage and determination. He had learned many things in the forest, things that would help him find his way back. He began to use his newfound knowledge, observing the moss on the trees, the direction of the wind, and the position of the sun in the sky. The forest had become his teacher, and he was its keen student. The boy understood that the moss usually grows on the north side of the trees. The wind often blew from the west, and the sun rose in the east and set in the west. He used these observations to guide his steps, each one taking him closer to home. As he journeyed on, he began to recognize familiar landmarks. There was the tall, ancient oak tree with its gnarled branches reaching skyward, the babbling brook filled with shiny pebbles, and the field of daisies that danced in the breeze. Each landmark was a beacon of hope, a confirmation that he was on the right path. The boy's heart began to fill with joy. Each familiar sight was a reminder of home, a reminder of his family. His steps quickened, his heart pounded with excitement. He imagined the warmth of his mother's embrace, the laughter of his siblings, and the comforting scent of home. His fear was replaced with anticipation. He could almost hear the echo of his father's voice, calling him for dinner. The forest, once a place of fear and uncertainty, had become a place of learning and growth. It had taught him resilience, courage, and the importance of observation. It had tested him, but in doing so, had equipped him with the skills he needed to find his way back. With every landmark recognized, the boy's heart pounded with anticipation. His journey home was near. Finally, the moment he had been waiting for had arrived. A sigh of relief escapes the boy as he steps out of the forest, the familiar sights and sounds of home flooding his senses. The journey has been long and filled with challenges, but the sight of his family waiting anxiously at the edge of the woods makes every step worth it. His mother, her face lined with worry, is the first to spot him. Her eyes light up, her hands fly to her mouth to stifle a gasp of joy. "He's here! He's safe!" she cries, relief washing over her like a warm wave, making her knees buckle. His father, strong and stoic, can't hide the tears streaming down his face, his silent gratitude echoing in the air. His little sister, too young to understand the gravity of what had happened, giggles with glee at the sight of her big brother. She breaks away from their parents and dashes towards him, her small arms flung wide open. The boy bends down just in time to catch her, pulling her into a tight hug, his own laughter mingling with hers. The boy's heart swells with happiness as he looks into the eyes of his family. His adventure in the forest had been filled with fear and uncertainty, but it had also been a journey of growth. He had faced his fears, learned to trust his instincts, and discovered strengths he never knew he had. His parents enveloped them both, their arms wrapping around their children in a tight, protective circle. It's a moment of pure joy, of relief, of love. The boy looks up at his parents, a smile tugging at his lips. He feels safe, he feels loved, he feels home. His journey had taught him many things, but perhaps the most important lesson of all was this: home isn't just a place. It's not the four walls that shelter you, or the familiar sights and sounds that comfort you. It's the people who love you, who worry for you, who wait for you to come back to them. In the warmth of their embrace, the boy realized that home isn't just a place, but the people who love you.